Okay, so hey, this is our Nearpod experiment. We're going to go through something we've done before, but Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson. And so kind of want you guys just to kind of follow along. We'll start out by reading, but I'm just going to show you a couple of things as we go through. Again, this is kind of an experiment. I've done it twice now. This is the second time through. I will say this, by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to summarize key details and ideas about the text. And then answer comprehension questions about the text. So you'll have the text. Now, I will suggest this. I don't want you to open up Because I Could Not Stop for Death in a separate tab yet, because I want you to be able to, it's not counting against you, but I do want you to use your brains to, well, you'll see as we go along. So it's going to be pretty short. And shouldn't take long at all, but I do need 100% participation. All right, so let's begin. All right, so on the next slide, you will read a text as a class. We'll determine central themes and ideas from the reading. Think back, I've already told you a theme of Because I Could Not Stop for Death. Okay, that was a big hint, wasn't it? Pay close attention to the character, setting, and other key elements. You'll need this information in order to complete an upcoming writing activities. Just a paragraph, don't freak out. Okay, so I already have done this. You should be able, oh, wait a minute, you can't see that now because I'm not sharing my screen. Let me do this. Does it open up the Because I Could Not Stop for Death for you? Click on that PDF viewer. And it would open it up in a new tab. Did it do that for you? Guys, if you got things in your hands other than the Chromebook, then you're welcome to go virtual only or leave my class today. Look, this is short. I don't need to compete with your cell phones. Period. All right, you should have clicked on Because I Could Not Stop for Death. Please, when we get to a couple of the questions, don't check it, but I mean, it is what it is. Remember, it's on a separate tab, and you get to go back to the Nearpod thing. Say that again? All right, we'll figure it out. Interesting. Okay, so Because I Could Not Stop for Death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste. I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed a school where children played, their lessons scarcely done. We passed the fields of gazing grain, we passed the setting sun. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice but a mound. Since then 'tis centuries, but each feels shorter than a day. I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity. So major theme in this, we talked about this last week, is death. I'm going to see if I can get you guys back. Did a less practice thing pop up? Do you see a less practice? No? Okay, so did you see the Because I Could Not Stop for Death thing? And now, are you seeing the Let's Practice now? Okay, so that's weird. That old man memorization skills. That was interesting. Okay, so all right, so let's practice. So try not. I guess you can't go back because the poem has already gone away. All right, so now that you've finished reading, it's time to write down the key information in a chart. Independently, write down important details about the text, what you can remember. After the activity, you will take a quiz. Don't freak out because it said quiz, to check your understanding of the text. All right, so you should have this chart. Now, if you use your mouse already, then you'll see that you're drawing something. But down at the bottom, there's also a text option. Please use the text option to type into that. Now, I'm just going to ask you 5 questions. Does not have to be lengthy or long sentences at this point. 5 questions. almost have everyone finished. You guys go ahead and finish up, and we'll go to the next slide in just a second or two. So we'll show you what you're doing. So is it hard to do this from memory? I mean, probably, I don't know if it is or not. I'm going to pull up mine on the screen just to ask questions. I did not fill in the blanks because I just don't do that. Who is involved? There's essentially two main characters in this thing. There's one main character. Right, the speaker, the writer of the poem, or the writer of this. It can't really be the writer of the poem, but at least the speaker for this. And also death. Death is the other character. What happened? Person died, right? So I've seen those answers. A person died. Person is being carried to the grave. Person is being carried to immortality. You can say, and that just kind of sets it up. When did it happen? We don't really know, other than we assume that the person was probably in their elder years. Why do we assume that? Because of that third stanza about the sundown. Because that was symbolic of sunset, the sun going. It's the older time in life. Where did it happen? Don't know. If you said it happened mainly in a carriage, that's fine. That's a perfect answer, because that's where basically the scene is. We rode in a carriage to the grave. Why did it happen? I think the best answer is probably because it's just a natural event of life. We all die. So no right or wrong answers. Well, I mean, sort of. There's some right or wrong answers, but really it's just getting you to look at the text, or at least think about the text, and being able to discern what has occurred. And I'm going to go ahead on. I know that one person was still not quite finished. All right. So write a summary of the story you just read using details to support your answer. So that's the next thing. Do not be lengthy. Try not to go back to the story itself. But those questions that we just did should have prompted you enough to answer this question. Write a summary of the story you just read. So a couple of sentences. Doesn't have to be lengthy. Yes, sir. That's an interesting technical. Everybody else seems to be working. I'm almost scared to hit my back button because it might. Yeah. Were you able to finish the 5 questions? What if you put your cursor in here and try this slide? exit this. Enter code. One of those. We'll see what happens when I push
To
it.
the next one.
Right.
Okay.
So I know there'll at least be one person without an answer yet. So, right now I'm just waiting. Let me do this. Just waiting on one more answer. Did I get it? I got it. All right. So the summary, the detail of that should not been, it doesn't have to be lengthy. Basically, the speaker the speaker dies. Death has come for her. She wasn't ready for it. She reflected on her life as she was being taken to the grave, and then she they went towards immortality. They went towards an eternal life, however you want to put that. So it doesn't really need to be real specific. It needs to be in your own words, and that's what a summary would normally do. All right, I'm pushing now just to see what happens. So for you at home, you should see your less review.
It came up.
All right, so I'm going to go backwards. What did that do?
It did the open-ended question, and there's the stare now.
To write a summary of the story?
Yeah.
Okay, I was scared it was going to do everyone. So just put gibberish, and then because I don't think you can move on without writing something. And submit. Done? Okay. So, yeah. Man, your words made a cuss word. Just kidding. So, all right. So let's review. And this is the quiz. And remember what I said about question 3? It would. I don't actually know if it would open. I think it opens up a separate tab, and you're still able to look on it. So question 3, if you go to question 3, you can look on the Adobe Acrobat and click on that. It would open up the poem for you if you need it. So, but give it your best shot. Make sure you read each answer thoroughly. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just talk to the folks that who are watching this later, who are possibly watching this later. I know that the minutes on this video look a little long, so hopefully you scrolled through. This is just the final quiz thing. You do not have to do the extended activity. This is just going to finish it up for us. I am going to go over the quiz answers, but I'm going to go ahead and close off the video. So we'll see you tomorrow. And I'll probably put just a real quick a video attached with the answers to the quiz, just in case you want to hear what I had to say.